Hi, welcome to this part of my review featuring the Children of the Fall. If you haven't seen part 1 of my review, featuring this storytelling game, where you play as a tribe of children that are trying to survive the horrors of the post-apocalypse, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to talk about the Fall, the setting of this game. Not too long ago, the world broke forever. Over the course of 48 hours, everyone on the planet who wasn't a child suddenly began to change. Some changed faster than others, but nobody was spared from this fate. These people became maniacs, bloodthirsty and hyper-violent, devoid of any trace of the person who they were before. They are known as the Fallen. The Fallen never speak or blink. Instead, they smile maniacally from ear to ear, killing and destroying everything they come across. They are evil and savagery incarnate, cannibals, murderers, monsters. Only a small fraction of the untainted survivors, all children and teenagers aged 18 and younger, managed to make it through the Fall, as the world was plunged into chaos. The surviving children and teenagers scrambled desperately as they attempted to figure out what was going on and why. Between the ages of 16 to 18, the exact age of the Fall varies from person to person, something terrible happens to us. One day, we suddenly change and we are no longer the people we once were. Instead, we are now monsters, unthinking and savage. The Fallen possess great strength, and not an ounce of empathy or remorse. Unless a cure is discovered, which seems remarkably unlikely, falling victim to one of the savages or becoming one of them ourselves is the horrific fate that awaits us all. There is no escaping it. Sooner or later, everybody gets their turn. The players in a game of Children of the Fall play as the young survivors. There are many theories about the cause of the Fall, but no answers. How could there be? Things are so desperate and dangerous that thoughts of the cause of this horror are only ever the fleeting whimpers of a dying imagination. Once someone has fallen, there is no bringing them back. Rescue is not an option. There is no cure. None that has been discovered yet, anyway. On a handful of occasions, Fallen have been captured and studied, but nothing concrete was learned. This could be because there is nothing to learn or the survivors are just too young and unqualified to understand it. The Fallen still have sex with one another, although mate may be a more appropriate term. This is possibly some basic animalistic instinct that clung on when everything else about the people they once were had faded away. Pregnancy and labor does little to slow down one of the Fallen, but for some strange reason, when they give birth, they do not attack or consume the infant. Initially, anyway. These babies are abandoned and are rescued by the Children of the Fall. In the time since the Fall, resources have become incredibly scarce. Production of pretty much everything has ground to a halt once the world changed. Adults are the ones who keep most of our critical services and facilities functioning, and without them, things just slowly run dry and die out. Communication is impossible with networks ceasing to function within hours of the initial downfall. Electricity simply doesn't exist without a generator. Clean water is also rare, as taps began to run dry a few weeks after the outbreak. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. The details beyond this point are entirely up to you and your group, and will emerge through play. The world is fleshed out and built together. The various tribes, characters, locations, and how they are all interconnected is fleshed out as a group during Session 0 and subsequent sessions. And this concludes this part of the review. In the next part we are going to talk about Session 0. There is a lot more to this story besides what I have told you, but the rest of it, the bulk of it, will be determined through gameplay. And as you can see, the story here is somewhat different when compared to the storyline in Eventide. So it's up to you if you want to treat this as the past or perhaps the future of that game world, or maybe it's an alternate reality or dimension, who knows. Thank you for watching this part of the review, and thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.